That it is, and spawning down in the bottom left for Infernalis Esports, it is GunGFuBanDa, who, let's be honest, no one thought would be in this position heading into this stage of the group.
No, absolutely not. Although, it feels like he beats Clem every season, so at least that was expected. In the upper right, in the red, he is for Storm, arguably the best PvP player in the world. He's MaxPax.
That he is, and we got to get talking about this right out of the gate because we have got a cannon rush coming in from GunGFuBanDa. He snuck a probe out on to the left side of the map here. He knows that MaxPax is going to go for the low ground setup. MaxPax is going to see this coming, but this is a 2-pylon wall, and MaxPax, does he pull probes to deal with this is the big question. And is there another probe coming across the map? Yes, there is. GunGFuBanDa is going to try and get a pylon up on the high ground. MaxPax is going to try and get set up on this. MaxPax knows the defense, but this is still going to be difficult.
I'm really curious to see where his defense is. It looks like, okay, so Cybercore goes down. He is really delaying it. Okay, there we go. Zealot on the way now from MaxPax. But I don't know about this, Steadfast. I feel like probes have to get pulled. The cannon's already just about done, and that cannon will defend the cannon on the high ground. So this cannon will get canceled. That's for sure, but we're going to see another one pop up pretty quickly. And now the propole is not going to be super effective. The question now is where does GunGFuBanDa go from here? For now, proxy pylon for MaxPax. He's confident he can hold, and there's some counter pressure on the way.
Well, he is going to try and go for a proxy Stargate. That is going to be what MaxPax is going for. He got that very quick second gas. That is what you want to do as the response to this. He's already built the Zealot. He's sending it across the map, and he's building this Adept. Now, GunGFuBanDa does not know about the proxy pylon on his opponent's side of the map. He's looking around for it. He's looking around for a proxy Nexus as well. MaxPax is going to try and mine enough minerals for a proxy Nexus to go along with this proxy Stargate. If we get enough money out for a Void Ray and a proxy Nexus, I think this is totally fine for MaxPax.
Yeah, it's an interesting way. It's not the most common way of holding it, but the amount of times that MaxPax gets cannon rushed, especially as the way he likes to play, you argue that it is probably the correct one. But gas is now going down for GunGFuBanDa. At the very least, he already has one, but adding that second gas does mean he should be able to advance his tech. And we got to point this out. GunGFuBanDa not committing super hard to the cannons. He has 2 on the high ground. He could arguably put another pylon down, push more cannons, and really start to deny mining. But that is, I think, the correct play here because you know your opponent's not committing too hard to the defense, so they have something elsewhere. Nexus will go down. MaxPax just trying to mine as much as he can as he waits for that recall to complete. GunGFuBanDa, though, he will scout the proxy Nexus. He will scout the proxy Stargate on the bottom side, which at the very least, that's nice. He knows what's happening, but can he defend it?
Well, MaxPax gets enough money for a proxy Void Ray and the Oracle to boot. He actually cancels the Oracle as he realizes he doesn't have the free supply. So that's a little bit unfortunate for MaxPax. We do have a Zealot and we have a Zealot and the Void Ray. There is a cannon here, but GunGFuBanDa cannot cover his own mineral line. He doesn't have anything there. He's building a shield battery. Ooh, but this Stalker cannot fight this Void Ray, not until the shield battery comes online. MaxPax, though, hesitated a lot and loses out on a lot of potential damage. I think GunGFuBanDa, because of MaxPax's hesitation, finds himself in a great position, but MaxPax able to recall these probes and he will get back to mining. And with only one gateway on the map for now, the Void Rays can still potentially overwhelm this. If MaxPax comes in from the top angle, prismatically aligns down this pylon, the game just ends.
That being said, I kind of like GunGFuBanDa's position right now. He's adding 2 additional gateways. He's got Blink on the way. He's got that pylon on the bottom right side, which means once Warp Gate is done, which is done effectively right now, he will be able to warp Adepts into the mineral line of MaxPax, which causes a lot of problems. As we know, MaxPax is going to try to be aggressive as possible. He wants those Void Rays on the other side. He wants to get that pylon down. And GunGFuBanDa, realizing that this might be the salient point that MaxPax wants to attack into, well, he's adding a second pylon right there. That is nice. And it's only 2 Void Rays at the moment. It's not a lot here. In fact, there's going to be a Robo going down behind this. Blink is halfway done here, Steadfast. If GunGFuBanDa survives until then, I'm really going to like his position. But now Prismatic Alignment is popped. One Stalker goes down. You really can't have that happen. But even still, Warp Gate is done. We're still on 3 gate, 4th gate soon. So at the very least, GunGFuBanDa has kind of what he needs, but he does not want to lose this Cyber.
No, he doesn't. MaxPax, though, he knows he's actually in an okay position to play this out from a macro position. He picks off that warp gate, and he's building the robotics facility knowing that his opponent is likely going to be getting aggressive off the one base. That's what the Wallin told him. And we do have GunGFuBanDa gearing up to try and hit with this blink timing, but MaxPax is going to have... Actually, no, he doesn't have energy for battery overcharge just yet. He needs to hold energy for that. He will have prismatic alignment back off cooldown for all 3 Void Rays, and GunGFuBanDa is going to attack up this ramp. Prismatic alignment does get popped instantly. That is not good for MaxPax, but he will have this Immortal out for the next phase. And I think this is so far totally fine. We do have those Adepts who are talking about being warped in, but I think I'm okay with MaxPax's position right now.
I'm kind of torn. I love the Adepts, right? Because we will see them shade in right around the same time that the next round of warp-ins of Stalkers from GunGFuBanDa is ready. And then life gets rather complicated. And as you point out, Steadfast, a Zealot warped in on the other side. So now we see economic damage being done to MaxPax. This Void Rays, the Immortals, they rotate on over. And GunGFuBanDa, at this point, he's going to try to rotate in, but with 2 shield batteries, I don't think he gets too much done. He's trying to get the shield batteries, but they do support each other a little bit. GunGFuBanDa, he's up 3 workers. He's up 4 workers. He and proxy Nexi all over the place, I guess. And it's actually really good here for GunGFuBanDa that he hasn't committed too hard to his army. He has been developing that economy. At this point, he's not building an army that he wants to win the game with. He's building an army that should just allow him to defend his holdings. So that being said, yes. 2 Immortals, 4 Voids, they shred these Stalkers.
That they do. We are seeing GunGFuBanDa kind of dancing in and out with these. MaxPax, I was going to say, I feel like with Blink on cooldown, you might be able to jump this army. He is going to hesitate at least for a little bit. He wants to see exactly how big the army is, and that's where this Observer comes in big. And seeing that there's not that many Stalkers, if he can just get a jump on GunGFuBanDa's army, I mean, he might be able to just muck that army like in a matter of seconds. We can see he's adding on another Void Ray here. We do see this Adept getting back in here, but he loses it almost instantly. The Cybernetics core has gone down on the other side of the map, but MaxPax, he says this is go time. He's got 5 Void Rays now. He's about to have a 3rd Immortal, and these Void Rays are going to melt these Stalkers.
Okay, I like this from GunGFuBanDa. He gives up the low ground. He has to fight around his cannon, around his shield battery, and he does have a sentry. So he will be able to force field off the ramp. He will be able to get Guardian Shield if that's what he thinks is the most useful. MaxPax scouting around, looking for maybe where that extra base is, and the Forge goes down. But at this point, +1 is not going to be a thing in this game as Stalker blinks back, probably soaks a little bit too much damage, but was trying to tap those hardened shields off to make these Immortals less immortal. But I gotta say here, Steadfast, I feel like I want to see charge go down. Oh, 4 Stalkers, though, on the other side. That means the shield battery does not matter nearly as much. They get a couple more probes. And MaxPax's economy, while his army is really scary, don't get me wrong, his economy is really starting to fall down. And with no Cybercore, there's no Cybercore on the map for MaxPax, I don't think. No. So he can only build really out of the Robos, out of the Stargates. Anything he builds out of the gateways are going to be Zealots, and let's be real. The Zealots at this point don't do anything.
No, they do not, and this is pretty huge because MaxPax, he did actually check this location on the left side at one point, but he didn't check it again. So he thinks that his opponent truly is just on one base right now, and that's a huge problem for MaxPax. He would have gone by now if he knew the exact situation of this game, but the longer the time goes on, the more this becomes a problem for him, and I think he might realize this, but I think it's too late now. There are 7 Void Rays on the field. And if he can just find a good fight, he will absolutely annihilate his opponent's army. The 4 Stalker hit squad is so nice because it is causing MaxPax to now split this army up. Ooh, Blink was used. Oh, MaxPax could have found those Stalkers right there with Blink on cooldown. He will snipe off another probe right here. GunGFuBanDa, he does get that charge upgrade, and I think that is going to be perfect for him to deal with those Immortals. Nice Blink Awake once again coming in from GunGFuBanDa. MaxPax will be able to get maybe one of these Stalkers. No, he's not going to be able to do so. Oh, but these Stalkers, they now move out of position, and that means, oh my goodness, if MaxPax had actually pounced on this army, these Stalkers would have been trapped away from the base, which would have allowed MaxPax to get into GunGFuBanDa's base and steal the high ground away from him.
Oh man, and that's where all of his tech is, right there at the ramp. You have to take the fight then as GunGFuBanDa, but you really cannot. And really, GunGFuBanDa has to sandbag this out. Once he gets charged done, as you said, that is where he really starts to pull ahead here. The Immortals become not nearly as useful, than the Stalkers can only focus really on the Void Rays, and it's a much more complicated army that GunGFuBanDa will have to bear. That being said, Pylon goes down on the right side. We don't have quite as much pressure. And look at this. Hallucinated Warp Prism. Does this drag MaxPax out of position?
Good question. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to drag him out of position. MaxPax, though, he has to be wondering at a certain point, how do you still keep building so much army? Oh, I do love this gateway on the map. I think that's such a smart move from GunGFuBanDa. He is really playing this out brilliantly. Warp Prism it's such an obvious bait at this point. Ooh, the Void Rays do find some of the Stalkers, and they say, oh, actually, no, thank you. We don't want this. MaxPax, so the reasoning he's not attacking right now is because he knows that he has a fresher base than GunGFuBanDa's main. But of course, he doesn't know the situation. Ooh, GunGFuBanDa. Okay, he is going to move in on the right side, and MaxPax, I mean, he adds another Immortal and another Void Ray to the mix here. How many charge loads do we have? No charge loads, but 35 Stalkers.
Oh, he's going to find the base.
So many Stalkers. He is, but this is enough Void Rays, I think, plus the Immortal to hold this for now.
Yeah, but Prismatic Alignment blinks forward. One Stalker guy dies, but the Immortal does not. I was going to say, with Prismatic Alignment on half the Void Rays, maybe that's going to be an opportunity. GunGFuBanDa looks for it, doesn't find it. But I got a question. There we go. Now we have charge lots in, and this makes this army so much more powerful for GunGFuBanDa right now. He's up about 20 army supply. Seems like MaxPax is just giving up this base, realizing that he cannot hold it. And it's 2 bases to 1. Again, MaxPax is going to start to mine this base out rather soon. Stalkers move forward. One goes down. Hardened Shield gets popped. It feels impossible in the tech path that GunGFuBanDa has to break this position. But a fleet beacon on the way on one base. Interesting.
Tempests? I don't even know what the method is. What is he seeing for here? Maybe that would actually be a great move, because that would allow him to chase down the Stalkers much more effectively. Yeah, that's got to be what it is. But I think it's too late here. I think GunGFuBanDa has played a near perfect game. What a wild game here. He's taking a top left base, and MaxPax is going to see this. He might still think this is only the first Nexus, but he has to know better at this point. There's too many Stalkers for GunGFuBanDa.
Yeah, there's no way, right? GunGFuBanDa has been mining out of his main base the entire time, and yes, the base that MaxPax is in is kind of functionally his base. That's starting to mine out, so you know GunGFuBanDa's actual main is going to be more. MaxPax, he's like, where is this? And there we go. Flux Veins will be on the way, leaning on Void Ray Immortal to make or break things. But GunGFuBanDa continues to advance his tech. He's got a Robo on the way now. And I gotta imagine, I feel like if you just get to Disruptors here, as we have Archons so good against these Void Rays, I feel like if you just get Disruptors, the game is over.
I actually think the Archons are the be-all, end-all. They, like, nothing does bonus damage to the Archons. The Void Rays can't club up against them. The Void Rays are going to start to move around the map, and, I mean, this is... Ooh, we do see a blink forward here. Flux Veins is about to complete, but +1 also completing on these units. The thing is, MaxPax is still, like, one good fight away from knocking out, like, half the army here, you know? Ooh, blink back will come on in. Nice micro on the Void Rays here. GunGFuBanDa is going to try and move in towards the base while these units are coming forward. MaxPax is saving up energy, and he's getting +1 air weapons as well. Like I said, this could still be just one good fight for MaxPax away from still being a winnable game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. GunGFuBanDa could have killed a couple Voids that got low as they tried to chase down, and finally that Observer that has been so MVP, but MaxPax, he says, it's go time right now. 5 Immortals, so many Voids, but the retreat back to the high ground. Archons need to be at the front here to target things down with Shield Battery Overcharge. They will not die. So it looks like, I think we saw 1 Void Ray fall. No, that was just a Zealot. And here comes GunGFuBanDa's army on the right side. The harassing squad, the hit squad, they have to run away because those Void Rays are so terrifying. And that's another benefit of Flux Veins. You can put aggression on GunGFuBanDa's main base while still defending your main base, I guess, is what we're going to call this here. And there are no Archons on the right side. So a couple Void Rays, or a couple Stalkers just die immediately. Now Stalkers blink on top of things on both sides. Shield Battery Overcharge is popped. Is this enough? The Archons now being brought to bear right here. GunGFuBanDa has had enough of this game. Zealots in the mineral line. And this game, it started with a cannon rush. It ends with the GunGFuBanDa victory. He's up 1.
What an incredibly technical, patient game from GunGFuBanDa. And he finds himself a single map away from topping the group.
That is... I kind of expect him to beat Clem at this point. because it's happened like 3 seasons in a row. But I expect him to do what he's done in previous seasons, where he beats Clem and he still barely makes playoffs or doesn't make playoffs, and he has this one big upset. If he takes down MaxPax, he took down Harstem. Well, actually, no, Harstem beat him, right? Who was the one player that GunGFuBanDa lost to?
GunGFuBanDa, I believe, lost to Goblin.
Yeah, no, that sounds more right.
I believe it was to Goblin.
Yes,
but
Goblin 2-1.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. On day 3 of the group. Yeah.
So that was not expected. He takes down Clem. He takes down Harstem. He takes down Milky Cow. He's been looking very good. Goblin, and by the way, you talk about losing to Goblin. It was kind of looking like Goblin might top this group a couple days ago. Now, he has lost since then, and unfortunate for Goblin fans, but this year seems to be the rise of like the tier 2 Protoss players of DreamHack, of Europe, where suddenly these players that, maybe they make playoffs, maybe they don't. They're making big moves. Geralt killing Showtime and Serral. GunGFuBanDa maybe going to top this group that has Clem, MaxPax, and Harstem in it. Goblin also making a great run. Skilless finally hitting top 2 after Lambo lost to Hero Marine. There have been a lot of Protoss players in Europe. In fact, it's almost 50% in the earlier stages of the tournament, but they've never really made incredible runs. Feeling like that might be changing around a little bit.
I mean, we know a lot of them are capable of it. We know that PvP is a funky matchup, but GunGFuBanDa, to me, his run so far is the most impressive of them all. And if he were to make top 2 in this group, that would be just stellar. But MaxPax, even from a horrendous position, made an absolute fight of it here. Now, if he'd scouted that base on the left side pretty much from the beginning, maybe the Void Rays just head over there. Maybe they snipe that base, because it is going to be difficult to deal with Void Rays poking in from both the top and because they can bounce, they can oscillate between the main base and that base. That's going to be so difficult for GunGFuBanDa to deal with. But he played that out so brilliantly. It was such a smart strategy. I'll have to see if he has something else for game number 2. I am so ready for this one. Let's just get into it.
All right. Well, here we go. In the upper right, folks, he's down 1. The master of PvP, but not enough of a master in that first game. For Psystorm, first place on the line, it's MaxPax.
And his opponent, with the run maybe of his life for Infernalis Esports, looking to top the group, it is GunGFuBanDa. And he says, you know what? I won with some cheeky stuff in game 1. Let's go macro. I think I've knocked you off your game enough that I can take this one down now. We're going to have to see. MaxPax, though, I mean, there's a reason that everyone who's beaten him has beaten him with weird stuff. It is because his macro game in PvP is pretty much second to none.
Now, I got to point this out here, Steadfast, is we look at this and we say, okay, this is a mirror build, right? Low ground gateway. MaxPax significantly delayed his gas compared to what GunGFuBanDa has, which means maybe a later Cybercore, which means maybe a later Stargate. I don't know how much of a difference it really will make, but it is interesting to me.
Oh no, it's you delay that gas in hopes that your opponent doesn't scout so that you can get the gate nexus down. You save the money on the gas to potentially take a quicker nexus, but he saw that his opponent scouted, so he's like, oh, okay, I'll throw down the second gas. It doesn't make too big of a difference. We actually see the MaxPax still has just a little bit more gas, but it is something that is very important to pay attention to, because, you know, there is always the potential that your opponent cuts probes in order to get that down. They cut the gas, they cut the second pylon, just anything to scrounge out those extra minerals. And to that end, we've got MaxPax going for the quicker nexus, and GunGFuBanDa says, okay, I'm gonna drop a pylon. Is he thinking about going for a shield battery rush with this? Or is he just trying to prevent a good wall?
I don't think so. Because, well, he lets the pylon complete. Shield, okay.
Oh my god, 1 HP. It's trapped. Okay, yeah, this is not going to achieve what it's looking for. He does have a Zealot here, but I think the Zealot maybe goes down to this Adept before... Oh, MaxPax actually should have been like right on top of that.
Okay,
Actually,
so this is a problem. Zealot and Adept versus just an Adept here, and shield batteries that GunGFuBanDa can look to rely on. And this is a wall. The Adept cannot escape here whatsoever. Does he even complete the shade? He does, but Zealot will die. And wait a minute, GunGFuBanDa is not targeting the Adept down. He's trying to knock the wall down. This is getting a bit awkward, but now the Adept is dead before the shield battery completes. That's massive. And Oracle is getting ready. This is actually so... Wait. So Steadfast. Oracle behind this. MaxPax good. He does have a Phoenix on the way. I was going to say there's no anti-air here, which is, of course, just a tremendous problem. But as it stands, Phoenix will be out. Do we have a shield battery in the main base? We do on the way. So MaxPax, he's got everything he needs to defend this.
Yep. I would never try this against a player like MaxPax. MaxPax is the guru of this kind of thing. Even with the shield batteries here, the 2 shield batteries and the 2 Adepts, MaxPax is still going to be able to do okay against this. Now, his shield battery will run out. He might have to pop battery overcharge. But nope, he is going to be able to hold long enough. Both players running out of shield battery energy, and actually MaxPax getting a kill on his opponent's Adept. Double Phoenix is out. And GunGFuBanDa is down a few probes. His Nexus is still later than that of MaxPax. Yeah, I'm loving this position for MaxPax. Oh my goodness, is he gonna find us? Oh my god, how did it... I swear that should have had vision. How did that not have vision?
Just I don't know.
It was just out of range somehow. Yeah. I don't even know.
Magic. Oh, he's gonna dive. Yeah, oh, that's so unfortunate. MaxPax thought he cleared his corners, but just hiding a little bit. 3 workers will go down, and Oracle gets recalled. Should not go down here because MaxPax only actually fighting with 2 of them. But here's my question, Steadfast. As the 3 workers go down, that doesn't quite equalize the worker count, but it gets closer. MaxPax, or excuse me, GunGFuBanDa very clearly not moving in a Phoenix play. So how many Phoenix does MaxPax make before the transition? Looks like we have our answer. Looks like that number will be 4, because gone are the days where players will play Phoenix against ground toss.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to make that work. He is going to dive. That Oracle gets the kill. Does take a lot of damage, but it's still worthwhile. I was going to say I wouldn't go more than 5. 4 is a good number because you can still one-shot probes even through a shield battery. I mean, you can technically do that with 3, but you have to think the shots up. It's a good amount of control. It's enough energy that if the opponent moves out with a lot of stalkers and leaves their bases exposed, you're going to be able to kill off just a ton of probes. Like, look how much energy there is on these Phoenixes for lifts. He's going to be able to already find 1 probe. The stalkers are in a good position here. Who doesn't want to lose that Phoenix? Might want to just pull it to the back. But actually, he's going to be able to find 2 of these units. Will lose a Phoenix, though. Well, that's a little bit sloppy right there, but Oracle into the natural expansion will grab 4 more probes. It was all a distractic, and it will work. And now MaxPax has kind of run away with this game in terms of the probe count.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You look at the supply, you're like, oh, well, GunGFuBanDa's only down 4. It's fine. It's not fine. It's an 11 worker lead, 10 worker lead for MaxPax at this point, which means he can get his Twilight down. Yes, his Blink will be slower than what GunGFuBanDa has. That is a timing. That is an opportunity. As sentries are ever so slowly knocking this pylon down. Oh, come on, Immortal. The sentries were killing something for once in their lives. Like, are you going to take that away from them?
And the Immortal's like, yeah. That's my kill. You get away from that. And the sentry's like, oh, no, we're trying our best. I guess they're sheep in this analogy. I don't know what that is. But Big Daddy Immortal shows up, steals the kill, steals the XP, and says, I'm going to get myself bigger. The rich get richer.
Unfortunate. For once, the sentries felt like they were doing something. Stars playing forward, though, and that's going to be 1 dead. Phoenix, no, not enough. He doesn't have all his shots synced up, so it's a little bit of damage on one, little bit of damage on the other. But as Phoenix count drops, they're not as relevant. The big deal, though, Steadfast, is that because Blink is done, but because the Phoenix are still on the map, the GunGFuBanDa can't take advantage of this Blink timing. And look what MaxPax is doing. He's just totally skipping Blink. Charge a lot Archon, which is the correct play. I don't know that GunGFuBanDa, with just these Blink Stalkers, he's going to struggle to fight this army.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him. He does have a lot of Blink Stalkers, but he doesn't have a great economy just yet. He doesn't have a ton of production. He's on 3 Nexi, which is good, and he's actually faster to the 3 Nexus than his opponent. But it's still just it's a situation that feels just so much comfier for MaxPax here. He's getting up into his +1 a hell of a lot quicker here. Like you said, he's got that charge. He can go into Archons. The Stalkers are, well, they're going to struggle against most of MaxPax's army unless they can kite for a very long time.
Steadfast, I want to throw something out here, and it sounds crazy, but it seems like... Okay, so hear me out. Zealot Glaives against the Mass Charles army. I've actually seen some insane comebacks. Ooh, Stalker's finding the Oracle, but... Oh, and barely not. But with the damage that's going down, it means that it's far less likely to get damage done. That being said, the army of MaxPax rotates over, and these Stalkers looks like they will fall eventually if MaxPax decides to take the time for it. Oh, he gets the Oracle. Okay, that's nice. That's a little bit less vision, a little bit less map control that GunGFuBanDa or that MaxPax has to play with. But his charge is done. His Archons are here. GunGFuBanDa is going to have to blink for his life. MaxPax has got better upgrades. He's got better army upgrades as well. This is going to be hard.
Yeah, this is looking pretty scary. He's setting up a nice bit of static defense, but the Stalkers are not behind the wall right now. MaxPax is just going to start shelling away at that wall. He doesn't want to take the fight just yet. +1 weapons is nearly done for GunGfu, but MaxPax does have a lot of army power advantage. We are going to see the attempt to blink back. Battery overcharge will get popped, and the Phoenixes do commit a little bit too hard, and he loses 2 of them. So that means a little bit less utility in this army, but MaxPax once again can just warp in additional units. He's got 6 gates to 4. The 2 additional gateways for GunGFuBanDa are going to finish up momentarily, but he is now a little bit supply blocked as well. MaxPax, who is trying to split his opponent apart with these Zealots. He's going to warp in into the natural while taking the fight at the front. The Concave is very good for GunGFuBanDa, but the Immortals are shelling these units unto death.
And I was going to say for a moment there, it looks like maybe there's this opportunity. If you take the fight on the main army, when the Zealots are so much of MaxPax's supplies in your natural, maybe you can win that fight. But 9 workers do go down. The Stalkers have to rotate over, and this unlocks the 3rd base. Gateways will continue to fall. Stalkers, though, they're playing on the backside. Warp Prism will fall. That's 2-1 dead Immortal to start. And if there ever was a fight that GunGFuBanDa was going to take, it is this one. But the Immortal is so damn strong, blinking on the other side. Those Stalkers knock down pretty much the entire tech of MaxPax's army and remove any warp in, any sort of reinforcement potential. But the Zealots are still undealt with. 20 probes have fallen, so good fight for GunGFuBanDa to be sure. But the damage done to his economy, it's just another thing altogether.
Yeah, that was, I would say that was even a miraculous fight from GunGFuBanDa. Like, the fact that he survives and actually comes out slightly ahead in army supply is incredible. So well done. But then you look at the worker count. You look at the fact that MaxPax is about to be on a 4th Nexus. GunGFuBanDa does have another base on the top left that I don't think MaxPax knows about. No, he does not. He does not know about that base. So that is something that is quite good for GunGFuBanDa. But he needs to get something done with the counterattack, and he needs to get it done now. Blink is going to complete. It's already +2 versus +1 in favor of MaxPax. I feel like GunGFuBanDa, he needs to get something done, but he's not going to be able to.
I mean, there will be a timing where he has +2, his opponent has +2, his Archon gets very low, but he misses the target fire on that. A little bit of economic damage. 3 probes have died. GunGFuBanDa, never mind, I can't read. He's down about 13 workers. So the economic damage, actually a couple more workers went down. Not totally sure what happened there, but I'm so worried about GunGFuBanDa's army right now. It's trapped. Is locked out, but actually, no. Interesting. MaxPax is on the other side. We got Zealot weapons on this 4th base of GunGFuBanDa. Probes have to get pulled here, and they do not want to fight this, but they're going to have to anyway, so 6 more workers go down. But GunGFuBanDa, he's opting into a base trade, and this is probably the only way he wins this game, but even still, I'm not sure this works.
No, I don't think it works at all. We do have a Dark Shrine finishing up for MaxPax. It's 1 observer to 1. MaxPax going to find these Zealots, or these probes, as they try and run away. The probes are in fact going to run into the Zealots of MaxPax. That is simply not going to work. We do have the recall being forced out from MaxPax. He decides to bring home some Stalkers and Archons while blinking the Stalkers to the left side. Will buy him a little bit more time, but GunGFuBanDa is going to dance on out of here. It's a nice move for GunGFuBanDa, but 31 probes go down. It's more than a double worker lead, and MaxPax, he might pincer this army off.
Oh, that's so unfortunate, too, because GunGFuBanDa, when he blinks forward, he's going to blink on top of the Immortals here. I don't know about that one. I mean, yeah, you get a Sentry, you get Immortal, but you're going to lose every single Stalker here, as the Zealots are too damn strong. It's unfortunate, because GunGFuBanDa, when he blinked on top of those flanking Stalkers, he moved commanded, he didn't kill them, and then they were able to blink out, even as MaxPax was a little slow on his blink. So maybe that flank might not have been quite. I think it still probably kills him, but a couple less Stalkers, maybe you can dance a little bit longer. Even still, that game was a disaster for GunGFuBanDa. Game 3 though, totally different. Tropical Sacrifice will be that map, and I don't think we see a shield battery rush again here, Steadfast.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's a reason why players don't often cheese MaxPax with stuff like that. It's because MaxPax knows the ins and outs of those kinds of play. He's so thoroughly on top of it. Like, he really just understands how that works. Just don't try it against him. You like, it's like you pick a fight with the best swordsman in the land, and then they're like, what's your weapon of choice? And he's like, the rapier. And he's like, cool, I challenge you to duel with rapier. And you're like, well, you could have chosen anything. Why'd you choose his strength? It's like, because I wanted to beat him with his own weapon. And it's like, that's very noble of you. But now you just lose horrendously.
Well, Steadfast, I do like to point out, the world's best swordsman is not afraid of the world's second best swordsman. They're afraid of the person who's never picked up a sword before, right? So maybe that's something that's like, oh yeah, clearly here, I'm going to do something that you don't expect out of the things that you think you have the read on it. Does not work though. And now that means that there is exactly one game that determines who will get first place. And as Clem is up 1-0, one game that determines who knocks down in third, who knocks down to third place. A lot riding on this one, but we're already on into it.
That we are, and here he is, the champion of Psystorm Gaming. In my opinion, the greatest PvP player of all time. It is Maximus Paximus.
In the bottom left, looking to continue his incredible run here in Group D. For Infernalis Esports, it is GunGFuBanDa.
And already, we've got a bit of a deviation here. We've got GunGFuBanDa going for the high ground setup versus MaxPax's low ground gateway. This has kind of been the name of the game in a lot of these PvPs in this group stage, is that players have been messing around with that, trying to kill players that, like MaxPax, that are going for the one gate. And MaxPax, he is the best at this defense of everyone. It is the thing that turned so many people's head. It's the thing that turned my head while watching his games. He just doesn't die when people try and bust him off two bases. But Goblin showed that with some proxy 4 gates, a very tricky play, you can sometimes catch him off guard.
I wonder if we're going to see... so the Hearthstone has been playing a similar style of this, where it's a 2-gate expand, but you delay your first couple units. Right, and then you do get a Nexus actually fairly quickly, all things considered, and you just have an additional gateway. It actually is a wonderful greedy play, but that's not what we're going to see out of GunGFuBanDa here. Double Stalker on the way, looking to run across the map. So that is one option closed down. Now, if GunGFuBanDa looks to get aggressive, I'm curious what version of the hold MaxPax is going for. It used to be before the Void Ray patch, you would just go Mass Voids, and that's how you would hold or not. But as Void Rays build slower, they are more expensive. We have seen MaxPax mixing in occasionally a couple Void Rays into a Robo. So I'm curious where exactly that goes. Against very similar openings, but for right now, Natural does go down for GunGFuBanDa. So no one gate aggression, or no one base aggression, not yet.
No, and a bit of a miss micro right there on GunGFuBanDa Stalkers. He did not deny the scout. MaxPax knows that there is a Nexus being built here by GunGFu. Now, MaxPax almost got in so easily that I would wonder if that's a fake Nexus. If there's like another probe on the map building, 2 more gateways with the canceled Nexus with the money back, we're going to see the shield battery finishing on up, but it is just barely in the nick of time. MaxPax does take a lot of hull damage on that Stalker. I kind of wish he would have pulled it back a little bit to save maybe, because I feel like he could have saved like half the hull that he lost.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I thought we were going to see the Oracle just snipe the 2 Stalkers, as one was already into the yellowish, the lime green, I guess, but instead just take some damage. It's on the other side, and is not going to find a lot. Right? The Nexus is not down, and we can assume GunGFuBanDa is prepared in the high ground. He's got Stalkers here, but he's kind of sitting them back a little bit. Once to bait MaxPax in, looks like 1 probe will go down, and Oracle wastes a little bit of time. That's a lot of damage on this Oracle from MaxPax for really I guess he got 3 workers, but it's going to be a lot harder for this Oracle to dive in again.
Oh, MaxPax is barely going to slip out here. These stalkers almost tracked it down. And yeah, one of those probes is actually on MaxPax's side of the map. So there's actually only 2 stalker kills. But MaxPax gets the scouting information, and he ultimately keeps the Oracle alive. He sees that the Nexus was not a fake. If it was, you know, he would have been pumping out Void Rays. You know, he would have been going for the defense. But instead, he's able to get a Twilight Council. He is up 4 workers. And once again proves why this setup is so far superior. Why the 1 gate is just so much better than the 2 gate expand. It's just a nice little worker lead, and you have the potential of this Oracle getting damage done. Oh, the Stalkers, they want to pick this off. I think they'll get it. Yes, they will. And that could be huge because it is now a Dark Shrine instantly behind that. MaxPax is like, okay, I need a Robo. So smart.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to be able to watch these games. Like, oh wow, you know, is the Robo going to complete? That's not really where we're going to be here. But even still, you know, you only have so many observers out by the time that this pops. If GunGFuBanDa is going to be able to wedge his way into an interesting spot, and remember, he will have Blink with this as well. So I think we're going to see multi-pronged aggression. Stalkers on the 3rd, DTs running into the natural or something, looking to stress MaxPax as much as possible, or actually, as the Robo completes, probably Warp Prism drops on those DTs. But MaxPax, his Blink is done about 6 seconds fast, and that means that he feels comfortable moving on to the other side of the map on GunGFuBanDa's side of the map, which 3rd base immediately canceled.
And that's a pretty big tell right there for MaxPax. Like, first of all, it's great for him that he gets the pick off there, but he has to assume that GunGFuBanDa has some kind of counterplay. And DTs would be a great option. No chrono boost on the Observer. And actually, MaxPax getting pretty brutally supply blocked at 70 of 70. I feel like this never happens to MaxPax, but you are correct. It is going to be a bit of multi-pronged aggression coming on in. GunGFuBanDa does not have energy for a hallucination. Ooh, these DTs, they are going to get spotted. MaxPax will be able to deal with these, and he's going to kill both of them. And a recall, completely wasted recall at that. MaxPax is now so far ahead in this game.
And this unlocks potential pressure onto the 3rd base of GunGFuBanDa once again, because recall is not cheap. So maybe, depending on how active GunGFuBanDa has been with his chronos, maybe there's a shield battery overcharge not available, but seems like we are fine on that front. Warp Prism now on the way for MaxPax, so it seems like he does want to get aggressive here, even before his +1 is done. Again, just because of this advantage that he's built for himself. He killed 2 DTs, he's killed a bunch of workers, he got away with 1 gate expand versus 2 gate, and just got himself ahead because of that. And that means that he is up a couple Stalkers, 13 to 10. He's got the Warp Prism, additional Warp-ins. Maybe this solitary Dark Templar on the other side, maybe it's going to do what GunGFuBanDa needs, but he's going to have to batten down the hatches because here come the Stalkers.
That they do. Battery overcharge is going to be available here, but MaxPax does have the numbers. Ooh, he loses that Observer, which is a bit of a problem. Nice job from GunGFuBanDa getting the snipe there. He tries to blink forward, but realizes that's not going to work so well. Now, this DT will start getting some work done, but you also have double adept in the natural expansion of GunGFuBanDa. Observer is here and should be able to get in on top of this DT. Meanwhile, MaxPax is saying, okay, your battery overcharge is gone. I'm going to start wailing away at this Nexus. And he already knocks down all the shields and takes a much better concave than GunGFuBanDa has. GunGFuBanDa, though, does have the Immortal. MaxPax needs to dance away and will escape on out. DT was taken care of on the other side of the map. There is a... Oh, no, actually, no, it just pulled back to the 4th base location. Okay, that's kind of nice.
So big deal here. GunGFuBanDa at the start of that fight, he went and he killed the Observer. MaxPax didn't have another one, so technically that should have been a really easy hold for GunGFuBanDa, but he didn't bring his DTs forward. And that meant that MaxPax was able to fight much easier. But yeah, we got Disruptors on the way. GunGFuBanDa, he holds on. He's only down 5 workers now. That DT is a special agent, but it looks like it should finally go down. It's a little bit faster than the Observer, so no, cannons are here. So Stalkers knocked that down. Nice try, but even still, it did distract MaxPax and did unlock maybe a bit longer of a game for GunGFuBanDa here.
That it did. Ooh, Observer this time does get sniped down by MaxPax. Good job from him. And he's actually going into charge. He's got his +2 weapons on the way, his own Dark Shrine, and a 4th Nexus. Whereas GunGFuBanDa is going to be relying heavily on these Disruptors to try and get him back in this game. +1 weapons does complete for GunGFu, so he's got that going for him, which is nice. But I feel like MaxPax really has plays to make here.
He does, but as Disruptors start to hit the field, I mean, they are the great equalizer. So MaxPax boost. Oh, big blink here. MaxPax, he does blink out in time, but loses a couple zealots. Really not the key component of this army. Is okay, those 2 workers died on the transfer. Big deal now, though. MaxPax, first of all, is going to warp in the main base. Couple of DTs trying to show GunGFuBanDa exactly how you want to use them. But cannons are already in mineral lines. With no shield battery, this cannon is going to go down very quickly indeed. Now 2 DTs just kind of sitting here, getting lots of damage done. And where's our observer? Not where it needs to be. MaxPax starting to swarm here, Steadfast. Supplies tell one story, and map positioning tells another. This is a difficult position for GunGFuBanDa to wiggle out of.
It certainly is. Beautiful move from MaxPax right there. He just snipes the cannon with the stalkers, and now the DT is absolutely wreaking havoc in this third base. And that is where the majority of this damage is coming on in. MaxPax, he's always got a card to play. We will see the DT getting cleaned up, but 15 probes go down. MaxPax is now up over 25 workers and counting at this point. He gets his own robotics bay, robotics bay. Would love to see him just go right into a second robo. He's got the money and the eco. I wouldn't even mind seeing him go straight up into carriers at this point.
So Steadfast briefly, and it looks like once we have another warp in, it will be true again for GunGFuBanDa. He had a pretty significant army supply lead. He has more disruptors. He had more stalkers. If there's, I think GunGFuBanDa has to move across the map right now. But these perpetual warp-ins from MaxPax, making that so hard to bring his army to bear. I think there was a slim moment where GunGFuBanDa could have done something. But as of right now, MaxPax battens down the hatches once again, and GunGFuBanDa is just going to have to come to terms with the fact that he has to, if he wins this game, if he gets out in first place, he's going to have to do it from a comeback. He's going to have to do it from behind. And MaxPax, when he gets in positions like this, it just feels so oppressive.
Yeah, it really does. MaxPax he just stays on top of you for so long and makes your job so difficult. He really just doesn't give you any breathing room. GunGFuBanDa with some nicely placed cannons and shield batteries will be able to deal with this. In fact, even has to pop battery overcharge just against a relatively small warp-in, to be honest. He will hold, but it's MaxPax just once again exerting pressure, building more and more probes on 91 probes and counting as he takes this 5th Nexus. And yeah, at this point, I wouldn't even mind triple robo from MaxPax.
A shot goes out. A couple zealots will fall. Nice job there from GunGFuBanDa. And we got to point this out. GunGFuBanDa has this +3 in the way. MaxPax does not. And as we move into the late game, when it's all about disruptors, yeah, that matters just a little bit less. But in these Zealot DT setups, actually, it does matter quite a bit. So GunGFuBanDa, I'm wondering now, as MaxPax is on 95 probes, whether we're going to start to hit a point where that kind of starts to hurt MaxPax. You know, as both players equal on army supply, GunGFuBanDa, or equal on supply, GunGFuBanDa's army is going to be massive compared to what MaxPax has.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, but MaxPax, okay, he does find these disruptors, will snipe down one of them, will get away as well. Nice blink forward, gets the observer of MaxPax. Good job from GunGFuBanDa. We are seeing DTs coming in on the 5th base, and they will actually find the cannon and a lot of probes. Shadow Stride, the blink for these DTs coming in, getting 15 probes here. MaxPax needs observer speed, and he needs it right the hell now. Oh, now this attack coming on in. We'll find a robotics facility for MaxPax. GunGFuBanDa, oh, the disruptors. Looks like MaxPax fired first. He will get 3 of his opponent's disruptors. Oh, make it 4. He gets 4 for 0, and he blinks forward, takes down his opponent's disruptor. His last one. Battery overcharge here for MaxPax is going to mean he is able to take this fight. And GunGFuBanDa finds a lot of damage on one side, but loses a lot of power units on the other. And now we've got DTs coming in on this base. It is chaos. The cannon will survive. The battery overcharge keeping it alive by the skin of its teeth. Oh my goodness, but another engagement in the middle of the map. It's chaos everywhere on Tropical Sacrifice, but I think MaxPax is going to come out all the far ahead for this one.
Okay, so let's see. We have 1 disruptor on the map for GunGFuBanDa. He's only on single robo right now, but so too is MaxPax. So at the end of the day, from that fight, massive expenditures on both sides. GunGFuBanDa kills a lot more minerals, but it's the gas that MaxPax does find himself a bit more in the advantage. And in these late games, that's all that matters. Stalkers blink back. Oh, the flanking disruptor on the right side! It gets them all, well, all but one, and the last one's going to go down very quickly. And now here comes GunGFuBanDa once again. The economic advantage that MaxPax had, well, it's back up again because he's building 5 probes at a time. But GunGFuBanDa builds himself right back into this game. but even still does not have quite the tech he's looking for. Another flanking disruptor. This time it's from MaxPax, does not get the damage at once. And now additional robos are on the way. DTs find their way into the main base, and pylons are going to be their targets, trying to knock down production as much as possible. DTs finding a lot of cannons here. Do we even overcharge? No, it looks like we have the cooldown, but not the energy right here. And probes are just going to surround this. So DTs do not get the damage they're looking for. Meanwhile, GunGFuBanDa continues to find value. Disruptor joins the fray, means the Zealots have to run away here. And Steadfast, all of a sudden, GunGFuBanDa, he's up pretty significantly in this game. Although, DT's in the natural, that's a problem. They're going to get a lot here. It's going to force a full recall. The position that GunGFuBanDa has had, looks like he's to give away some. Disruptor shot, going to get a lot here. But even still, MaxPax, he's got to back up. Disruptors fall on both sides. Only 4 probes die for GunGFuBanDa, and he has depowered the Forge. So +3, that thing that has been so good for GunGFuBanDa over the last minute or so, it's going to last a lot longer, that advantage.
That it will, and it looks like GunGFuBanDa is starting to really take control of this game, despite the probe count going in the favor of MaxPax. MaxPax has thrown away a little bit too much stuff, and GunGFuBanDa has been more effective with his Zealot, with his DT run buys. MaxPax still does have a fighting chance, but he is certainly behind now. Disruptor count is 2-1, which is so funny how low it is. GunGFuBanDa has just managed this late game better, straight up better.
Steadfast, look at resources lost. It is 6,000 in the advantage for GunGFuBanDa. So yes, GunGFuBanDa has been mining less for the majority of this game as he keeps knocking MaxPax down to his worker count. But the big deal, of course, is he's just trading so much better. He's knocking disruptors down, as you talk about, his Zealots, his DTs, finding everything they need. And almost as importantly, he is handling the aggression of MaxPax. MaxPax's DTs, MaxPax's Zealots, at most they're getting a cannon or two. They are not finding the critical underbelly of GunGFuBanDa's setup. And now GunGFuBanDa, he's up 30 army supply. He blinks forward here. Pylons will go down. I don't know that MaxPax is going to be able to rotate over, keep this base alive. Disruptor shot forces MaxPax back. Yeah, MaxPax loses a base. He's only on 4.
Yeah, this is flipped so heavily in favor of GunGFuBanDa right now. He is playing a phenomenal setup right here. Zealot DT once again coming on in. There's still no +3, as you mentioned. That is a huge deal for these little kinds of skirmishes. We are going to see the army of GunGFuBanDa, the main army, rotating to the right side. Once again, going to try and take position on the natural. If he can get in here, he blinks forward. Disruptor does come in just a fraction of a second earlier for MaxPax, and it's a huge shot, killing 2 of his opponent's disruptors and a fair number of stalkers, but he will lose the cybernetics core. Now the DTs, they were revealed by the cannon, so he's forced back. But MaxPax is losing a lot in the natural, including the robo. +3 weapons will complete for MaxPax momentarily. On the other side of the map, we've got another massive Zealot fight coming on in. There is an observer here for MaxPax, which means DTs for GunGFuBanDa can't help out, but the positioning for GunGFuBanDa Zealots is far superior. But in the natural, GunGFuBanDa overstays and loses so many of his stalkers. This game is bonkers.
Yeah, GunGFuBanDa, I'm looking at the battle report. It says he only lost 5 stalkers. I'm not totally sure what just happened, but DTs, they knock a couple more workers down, and we're seeing how big of an advantage 2 upgrades is in this matchup, because it doesn't often feel like it is. How many times have we seen players go super late on upgrades, not really care about it because disruptors make it up? But as we move in the late game, as you said, with the Zealots, with the DTs, it makes such a big difference. And yes, GunGFuBanDa lost a lot, and that natural seems like that's the case. He's still, his economy, he's at 15 workers on MaxPax. The MaxPax that was on 95 workers here. He just can't stabilize at this point. DTs again find their way in. There's a cannon here, but it's just going to go down immediately. Luckily, it looks like there are observers. So GunGFuBanDa will lose that one, fighting in the middle of the map here. It looks like some disruptors went down. It's so hard to track this game. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like MaxPax was able to take down 2 of his opponent's disruptors and a few DTs. So the disruptors, of course, going down in the middle of the map. MaxPax finds these disruptors a little bit hanging. I think he just picked off his opponent's observer as well, and he snipes one of those disruptors down. MaxPax is starting to take some better fights here, but his harassment just has been wildly unsuccessful compared to GunGFuBanDa. GunGFuBanDa is so good at this. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade here, which means that it's now GunGFuBanDa down a disruptor, 1 disruptor to 0. But as I say that, 2 more disruptors, it looks like, hit the field. MaxPax, though, he is now down a base. He needs to secure another base or knock out one of GunGFuBanDa's, and it's going to have to be this bottom right base. MaxPax needs to push right here, right now.
GunGFuBanDa already seems to be in position, though, and with not that many disruptors on the field, it's not like this is a position you can break easily, especially as GunGFuBanDa's upgrades knocks the Observer down, which actually, no, he kept his alive, which means defensive DTs are a thing. We see GunGFuBanDa do that immediately. He's looking for the backline here. These DTs, they're just going to knock the Disruptor right on down, and that was the one opportunity that GunGFuBanDa had, or that MaxPax had to take the fight. It does